back live on the Jim Leach Show on 970 WMAY, the news and talk of Springfield. It's a job that allows me to experience so many things. I have been tasered on this job. I have gotten roaring drunk doing my show on this job, strictly as a public service. And this morning, I am sharing a studio with a red-eyed demonic rat. Okay, technically a chinchilla, but still. It has already claimed one victim in our building this morning. One of my colleagues actually got bit by the chinchilla. So, again, under the, I think, ample excuse that I suffer from pet allergies, I'm going to forego holding the chinchilla. I'm more than happy to let our guest do the honors this morning. Talon Thornton, director of Henson Robinson Zoo, is in studio with us. All right, tell us about your little friend here.
Well, this is Bandit, and Bandit is a chinchilla, and I guess one of the perfect ways to describe, what a chinchilla looks like. If you haven't ever seen one, it kind of looks like a giant mouse.
It does. A very luxuriously furry mouse.
It's kind of a cross between a rabbit and a mouse. They've got the long tail, although it's got fur on it, the great big ears, and these guys are unbelievably soft.
Well, okay, I got to try it, I guess. Like I said, it's probably not the best idea, but let's take a look at it. Oh wow, yeah, okay. I was starting to say I wouldn't think I'd ever want a chinchilla coat, just because having seen the glowing red eyes on this thing, I would think that would be sort of a gateway to hell. But I have to admit, that's very, very nice, very soft.
Well, these guys are native to the Andes Mountains, way up top in the mountains in South America, so they need this really thick fur coat to keep them warm.
Well, doesn't it suck for him to be here in this weather we've had, though?
Actually, we keep his exhibit pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're kind of like any pet that you would have if you've got a long-haired dog. Is one of the things you can see now. He's shedding quite a bit. When I leave here, I'll probably have enough chinchilla fur on me to make a pair of slippers or mittens or something. But yeah, we actually have we've had his two brothers were born at the zoo, and we take them out and use them in education programs through nursing homes and senior centers, daycares and schools all over central Illinois.
It's not something you see every day, but you can see it every day at Henson Robinson Zoo, one of the many animals that they have on display there. And again, exciting times at the zoo. And yeah, he seems a little jittery. If you want to go ahead and just put him back in his cage and seal it up tight, I'm perfectly okay with that. What did Josie do to him, I wonder, that made him actually bite her?
She was actually
she tried him on, didn't she?
She was cuddling with him.
Oh, okay. And apparently that's not his thing, huh?
Yeah, she was cuddling with him for a long time.
He doesn't want to cuddle. He just wants to, when it's done, light a cigarette and go home. Got it. Okay. In any event, but again, a lot of animals on display. Again, the sort of thing you don't see every day. Although Talon's going to be seeing that one for a while. Every place he looks, chinchilla fur all over him. But really exciting times at the zoo with a lot of changes underway there, including just recently the new zoo budget passed, and you're able to beef up some of the staffing again. I know you had some cutbacks in recent years.
Exactly. One of the things, we had some pretty tough times a couple years ago. We had to change the status of some of our employees. We're able to reinstate one of our, who was a full-time zookeeper, went to part-time. As of last week, she's been brought back to full-time status. And I think it's just going to be a process of getting the revenue and the expenses, back to where they once were.
There was a sense that the zoo maybe had gotten a little bit stagnant, I guess. That, you walk into Henson Robinson Zoo, in a lot of respects, a lot of it doesn't seem to have changed very much from even when I was a kid back in the 1970s going there. But there's been a real big push in the last couple of years. A new master plan put in place and some pretty ambitious plans for the future of the zoo. Now, again, Dr. Dolittle Day is coming up this Saturday, a free day at the zoo, and there's going to be a chance for people to see what's going on there. Will there be noticeable changes already at Henson Robinson Zoo?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things when people walk into our front entrance, you're gonna, the response that we've gotten since the front entrance was revamped was wow. Really, really cool. Really bright, really colorful. I think when you walk in, you're gonna see right away some of the changes that we've made. 2 years ago, we received a grant from the state of Illinois through the Department of Natural Resources. We received about $200,000. We built a new eagle exhibit, a new sandhill crane exhibit, and a new exhibit for cougars. We haven't had cougars there for about 4 or 5 years now. Eventually, we're bringing cougars back. We've got a pair of cougars that are to arrive in September from the Hogle Zoo in Salt Lake City, Utah. But until those get here, we're actually driving to Chicago tomorrow to pick up a Canadian lynx, which is very similar to the bobcats. We've got a wonderful bobcat exhibit that we built about 3 years ago, and a lynx very, very similar to bobcats, much bigger, much longer. They got really, really long legs, and we hope to have her out by Saturday morning.
Are these, when you acquire these animals, are they essentially on loan from these other zoos?
Most of them are. The cougars that we're getting from the Hogle Zoo, they are doing some work to their cougar exhibit, and they just needed someone to hold them while they're doing the construction program. They had originally intended to begin the construction of their new cougar exhibit this spring, but because of funding issues, they've had to push that schedule back and are now planning on breaking ground on their new cougar exhibit in September. So what we will do is we will hold on to those cougars for them. That way they'll still be on display somewhere. They'll have access to being outside. And then once their exhibit is completed, then we will send those cougars back to them and then hopefully make arrangements to get our own.
And you're working on some other permanent acquisitions, too. You were talking about a grant process that's underway that you hope is going to pay off for you?
Yeah. One of the things back in the early 90s, we had a very, very primitive reptile building underneath what is now our picnic pavilion. We've got some reptiles. We've got our Galapagos tortoises. We've got a couple snakes up front. We've got our Madagascar ground boas back by the lemurs. But one of the things you had mentioned earlier about the zoo's master plan, one of the things that we talked about within that master plan is a new reptile building for the zoo. The state, through the Department of Natural Resources, their public museum grant, they started the new grant cycle about a month ago. We've been working on the grant. We're going to turn it in this afternoon, and hopefully we will receive funding to build a new reptile building out at the zoo. We're looking at a little over $700,000 to build this very nice, very elaborate. I think, again, a building that when people come to the zoo, the first thing they're going to do when they see this is go, wow.
Probably kind of a sad reality that in this day and age, you got to do more than just have cool animals at a zoo to get especially a young audience. And so what other things are happening there to make this a destination, an attraction that kids are going to sit there and go, woohoo, I want to be here all day long?
One of the things that we did last year is we brought in a electric trackless train. Kids absolutely love it. This thing looks like a train, sounds like a train. We had it last year. We had worked out a deal with a gentleman from Grand Rapids, Michigan, who brought the train down to us, and we basically revenue shared with him. He owned the train. We basically operated it and then split the revenue. And it was a huge, huge hit. And the gentleman may have had a different deal. He's got it in a mall now in Grand Rapids. So he was going to keep it up there. So we met last week, and we have made arrangements to purchase a train very similar to the one that we had there last year. And it will be here within the next couple days. We're expecting it this week, so it should be here ready to go for Dr. Dolittle Day. And and again, it's one of those things that it's a real wow factor. This train is cool. It's got a smokestack on it. It's got a train horn. It's got a train whistle. It's got a bell. And it's not just for kids. We've actually adults can fit in it. There's an open coal car, and then a couple wagons and a caboose. And this is something that it will it will give you something else other than looking at the animals. We've got the playground. The kids love the playground. Now we're going to have the train. The good thing about the train is that it's going to be able to generate additional revenue for years to come.
Real quickly, because we're tight on time, let's give people the rundown on Dr. Dolittle Day. 30th anniversary of the first Dr. Dolittle Day, and it's a free day at Henson Robinson Zoo. Give us the full scoop.
We are open from 10 until 6 on Saturday. The first 300 kids coming through the door are going to get a free fedora from the guys at Godfather's Pizza.
Nice. I want a fedora.
We're going to be
kids. That sounds like fun.
And actually, we've got the animal print fedoras, so perfect for the zoo. First 300 kids coming through the door are going to get a fedora. We're going to have turtle races, animal programs, face painting, you name it.
Penguin feeding someplace?
Penguin feeding.
Nice.
You're going to get to see the penguins up close. The train, hopefully that train's going to be there. We'll have it going, and fun for the entire family. You don't have to be a kid to come out to the zoo and have fun. We've got the baby spider monkey that was born in October. He is becoming more and more independent. He's out running around the exhibit by himself. So come out to the zoo. If you haven't been there a while, come out and see all the changes that we've made and have a good time.
Dr. Dolittle Day is this Saturday. The hours again?
We're open 10 till 6.
10 until 6 on Saturday, and it's free admission on Dr. Dolittle Day at the Henson Robinson Zoo here in Springfield. Talon, Thornton, as always, thanks for your time. Great to see you.
Thank you.
We're back after this on the Jim Leach Show. Stick around.